Hey everyone, welcome back to Play Casket with your host, Rock the Goblin.
And Ghost, your co-host.
And this week we're having another episode of Your Turn with Ghost playing some totally legit and totally legal PS2 game of Ape Escape 3. Totally legal.
On PS2?
Yeah. Anyway, let's get into our stuff. So, not too much. It's been a slow week, actually. Like, we've had quite a few things that, on the political world, let's just say there was some crazy nonsense out there. Like, we're not a political commentary world, so we're not going to get into it, but it was nuts. It's nuts. Everything's nuts. Nobody likes anybody. Everybody hates everybody. It's just the way it is.
Dogs and cats living with each other.
Dogs and cats living with each other. Monkeys are starting to learn Spanish. It's just real bad all around. But there was just a few things that happened this in the gaming world and the nerdy world and all that. And I'm going to go ahead and let you go ahead and start off with your first bit.
Sony is scared, or what is it? They see Game Pass as a threat. I think Microsoft is in it for the long run. That they're just going to choke out Sony. Because Sony is getting really nervous about Game Pass being so freaking cheap. And they kind of realize that they can't compete with a $10 pass versus, a $70 game, which I think it's kind of deserved. Where it's like, well, why'd you guys make it so freaking expensive?
Well, here's the thing. They could have competed with a $60 game.
Yeah.
Okay. Especially right now, I think they should probably just choke on the $60 instead of trying to pump to $70. Because the problem is I don't think they can afford the craziness money that Microsoft has.
Yeah.
Flat out. Right? Now, I think that I do think Microsoft has changed a lot of their budget from other venues to kind of boost Microsoft or the Xbox brand.
Yeah.
But I think the Xbox is gonna bloat themselves. Words are hard today. Damn.
It's too hot in there.
To try to basically make sure that everybody's reliant on their Game Pass.
Yeah. Well, I don't trust Game Pass either. But
I don't. Let's put it for the record. I don't trust it as much as I can fucking throw it. And honestly, like I said, a $60 physical game, Sony can probably be able to just chew that extra $10, and I think that's the problem. It just goes to show that we were basically right when we're saying the power pissing contest between consoles are gonna kill a lot of these people. You know what I mean? It's just gonna destroy business in general, and that's why I think indies are gonna just run circles around them until somebody finds a way to innately basically control independence as well. In order to be on consoles, you're gonna have to go through me now.
Yeah.
That's gonna be pretty shitty in the end. So I'm worried about that, but I do think Sony really screwed the pooch when they decided, hey, you know what? Maybe we should just raise the money so we can make even more money on the one venue that they have going for them.
Yeah. Well, I heard Sony's also paying certain companies to make sure certain games don't go on Game Pass. So.
That's kind of believable. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm not saying it is. It's still more he should see said stuff.
Yeah.
But it goes in line with they have a history. Even Microsoft and Nintendo both have histories like that too. But Nintendo has kind of not done that since the Wii. Mm-hmm. Before the Wii, because they tried and they got stomped on the GameCube in the GameCube era. They're okay, we gotta be a lot smarter now, right? So Nintendo does a lot of publishing. Oh, I will fund this entire development as long as we have control over it and stuff like that, like you see with the Bayonetta series now, mm-hmm. right? And they also are teaming up with people to do stuff that involve their IP, which means even if they wanted to, they can't put a Nintendo character on a different console. They are just not allowed to.
Yeah.
So Hyrule Warriors, Fire Emblem Warriors, Xenoblade Chronicles Warriors, stuff will never go anywhere else.
Yeah.
You know?
Step up your game, Sony.
So for that, like, so
Make more
so
PS5s.
for Sony trying to buy and like restrict stuff from the Game Pass, I think it's believable. And part of me, like, I don't know, I'm kind of torn. Part of me wants to say good, because it kind of chokes out the Game Pass from gaining absolute monopoly dominance.
Yeah.
Because once you start relying on Microsoft as a service, Microsoft
Beauty
then
and the
can
Beast,
decide
I remember
what.
it well.
It's almost exactly the same as what I thought it was this entire time. But I think once what's a good word for it? Like once you get entirely reliant on the Game Pass, right? And any type of service game stuff, they get to decide what services they provide to you.
Yeah.
Like if you look at the terms of service, they don't say, "Oh, we will promise to always give you Madden 2002." Eventually, Madden 2002 will just die off.
Yeah.
And you're like, "Oh, well, at least I have Madden whatever."
Well, they've already proven that they could cycle in and out games that
Yeah.
whenever they need to.
Yeah,
So.
and they got away with it, and Disney Plus gets away with it, and everyone else who does streaming and services and stuff like that are getting away with it because people go, "At least I have XYZ thing."
But
no,
same time too,
you don't have it.
Yeah.
They're just letting you have it right now. They're letting you play it. They don't have it for you. That's it. Okay.
But I think I think the value goes more towards people who are willing to pay $10. Like, oh, $10, I can play, I'm gonna beat all these games in a month, and then just not subscribe again. So
yeah, and the thing is, that's still $10.
yeah,
You know, and people getting games, quote unquote, getting games for free. You're not getting anything. You're renting a time frame of what they decide you get to play with. And even though I don't like the practice that Sony's doing, I at least still like the overall outcome that it's kind of slowly making Game Pass kind of struggle curb stomping on everyone else, like without any recourse, you know.
they could just censor more games.
Yeah, they can just censor more games. Why not? You know, hey, is that a knee? Tone that back, guy. So yeah, but let's spin this. Let's turn this around a little bit to something a little bit more promising, or a little bit more exciting, a little funner, and also on the one studio that isn't competing directly with one another, Nintendo.
Yay!
So apparently Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is doing pretty damn well, right? To a point where people have already beaten the game are wondering what's going to happen at the end of Xenoblade Chronicles 3. What's going to happen for the end game, right? So the director and creator of Xenoblade kind of chimed in and kind of teased what the plan is for the future. Basically, the trilogy kind of wraps up the Experiment trilogy. He even admits that this is more of a stopping point beyond all things for him.
Okay.
Just a stopping point. You can stop and then continue on all the time. And he kind of teases that there's some plans for the future for Xenoblade. And people are just kind of taking ideas of what that could be, going a little wonky with it, but
Xenoblade X2.
he goes on record stating, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is also a stopping point to me. This title depicts the conclusion of Xenoblade's story that began with Klaus's experiment. While it is a conclusion, that does not mean the end of Xenoblade's series. It is just a stopping point in my mind. I think that everyone who played this title and the additional stories in the expansion pass can imagine what lies in the future of Xenoblade. So, two things come up on my head. One, that tells me that the expansion pass is probably going to have a standalone game, and it's going to have a standalone physical, and I'm going to probably buy it, and it's probably going to be better than Xenoblade 3, because that's exactly how Torna worked out. Because Torna is better than 2. One of the reasons being is there's no Pyra.
Okay.
There was a Pyra. There's no Rex, though. So that's a good thing, too. But for Torna, I liked the mechanics and stuff. Torna was actually better in that respect.
I haven't gotten to Torna yet, so.
But well, I'm not going to break out any story. I just like the mechanics better.
Okay.
It's a little bit more fluid. But this does tell me one thing, like about the actual series, is after this trilogy is wrapped up, that doesn't say that they're going to be like Xenoblade sagas or some bullcrap like that. It's probably going to still be another Xenoblade. It's probably going to be Xenoblade Chronicles, because they're not going to drop Chronicles because they didn't do that for X, and X is an entirely unique story all its own. Okay, I don't think they're going to do another X yet. I think them doing like single player stuff like Xenoblade Chronicles base is probably what's selling them the most, and I'm pretty sure Nintendo will say, yeah, go ahead and focus on that. Now, I think Xenoblade Chronicles 4 will come up in a similar way in another universe that kind of loosely, like if you're paying attention, you can see the connection.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean they did it with Xenosaga as well too.
Kind of, yeah. And it's like loosely, like not even just like a tongue-in-cheek cameo. Like it's gonna be like, no, this is still the universe. This has happened many years later, and it's not the same that it used to be. I still think Xenoblade Chronicles 4, however, is going to have like spiritual recreations of characters we've already known.
Oh, okay.
Like we talked about that before too. I think Noah is more of a Shulk reincarnated. Mio is a Nia reincarnated, and you can see it all the way through, right? And I think that's going to be the case overall, for the most part. But
get back here.
Yes, I think that's going to happen. But I don't think Xenoblade's just going to have a break. The Monolith Soft has like multiple studios, so they're like working on different things all the time. I do think one studio is kind of working on something else. I would like to see something like Disaster Day of Crisis being revisited.
Yeah.
Or Bringer being revisited. Or something at that point, right? I would like to see that. But they could also be working on something interesting and new. Like that's what their like second team is doing. Well, the other team's just kind of writing up like, what can we do for Xenoblade 4 that's not going to be too crazy? You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
So I think they're already... I genuinely think they're already working on a Xenoblade 4.
Oh, Jesus. Going backwards.
Okay. Do it. Cheese it to the end. But that's my opinion. What about you?
I'm excited. We'll see what they do.
I'm excited. Games.
Well, because I mean, I trust the direction where they're going, because we got Xenosaga, now we got the Xenoblade series.
Okay.
Xenoblade X.
I think Xenosaga is the reason why nobody really wants to like trust them, because they get convoluted before.
I know. So I mean, like,
but Xenoblade Chronicles X is all on its own, so who knows what's gonna happen with that, you know?
Yeah.
So
you just jump over me.
Yep, he did.
Get back here.
But what are you expecting? What are you hoping for, like in the future of Monolith? Like, what's the next games that you're hoping to see?
Damn, I don't even know. I mean, we're just gonna see more expansions of the Xeno series. I really do hope they do Xenoblade X.
Well, let me ask you this: do you think they'll do something not Xenoblade at all?
I think they're gonna do something Xeno something. So yeah, like you said, something that's.
I think they're gonna stick with Xenoblade entirely. I don't think they're gonna change it to Xenostars or Xenobowl or Xeno whatever. You know. Yeah. They're not gonna be like Xenocars, Xenowheel, or something else. It's still gonna be Xenoblade. Period. Okay. Okay. That's just the way it is. It's just, what are they gonna do with that story? So you think that they're gonna stick with Xenoblade in general? And just kind of stick to their guns, because that's the only thing that's ever really succeeded for them right now.
Yeah, I mean the brand is really, really good too. So I don't think
it's still growing. Yeah, it's still growing like enormously. Yeah, and so it would be I'd be really hard pressed for people to say, I'm burnt out, I want something new from them, when it's like from the same people who are like, I want Retro Studios to always make Metroid Prime all the time, every day. You know, like,
yeah, it's either that or we're gonna see a new IP like codename Steam, right?
Shut up. That hurts, homie.
And then they're gonna make a new IP, and then everybody's gonna be like, oh, but it's not Xenoblade, and then they're just gonna be like, okay, fine, here's more Xenoblade, and they're like, yay.
Yeah.
Hey, we want new stuff. Yeah.
I think they're gonna be doing some kind of experimental. I do think there's a third team that's just doing like experimental like ideas. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense. Yeah. Like, I think that somebody's out there going, all right, I wonder what it looks like if we test this. I wonder what, like, can we do something with this mechanic. Well, let's see. Can we do anything with a battle royale style game? Like, what can we do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's the case, right? But I don't think it's gonna get released overall. Like, it's not gonna be given a full-fledged development until much later. So we won't see it soon. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Get back here.
But yeah, there's that. What about you? You want to trade this baton and see what else you have in store?
Forspoken. This is kind of a quick one, but man, everybody's just like ripping on it because it has very, very bad dialogue.
is like, okay, so they have a trailer just recently, like kind of teasing a dialogue that has a guy that's like half sarcastic all the time.
Well,
is that supposed to be in game?
Yeah, it is.
That's in game?
Yeah.
Oh my god! Like, I thought that was just for the
trailer.
The trailer, you know, like the whole you know, an anime fan on prom night, Mighty Number 9 trailer, you know. Like, holy crap, that's.
Well, it's like that
crazy.
weird. It has like that weird, always quippy, and they just won't shut up type of like dialogue, I guess, where like she's always talking about how quirky and interesting everything is, and oh, I'm a superhero, wow, and this bracelet gives me superpowers.
Cringe. Cringe to the end of cringe.
Yeah, they play it so straight too, and you're just like, oh god, please be quiet for like 5 minutes, please.
So she's gonna be her own Navi.
Yeah, basically.
That's bad.
So
that's dumb and stupid.
And everybody's like memeing the hell out of it. It's hilarious. They did one for like Kratos. They did one for like Yakuza. So yeah, there's a lot of it.
I'm gonna be a daddy. Boy. Yeah, that's cringe. That's hilarious. I didn't know that. I thought it was just in the trailer. I'm like, man, that's a terrible trailer. How are you supposed to sell this thing? Oh, it's a game. How are you supposed to? I swear to God, sometimes Square just does not think whatsoever, ever. When they're like, this is a good idea. This is what hip kids do, right?
Well,
right?
Just look at a Realm Reborn and what happened, right?
Oh, God. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to take that baton back from you because that was pretty quick. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and cover one of the things. So we're not going to do a reaction video to this one. But THQ Nordic did a like little on stage like impromptu kind of showcase type of thing. Like, it was like, we're gonna have a showcase. Like, when? Now. Like, basically did it. So they had like, it was like a 45-minute direct type of thing, right? Mm-hmm. And you know, a couple things for Nintendo Switch, but not everything. Like, most of everything was on the PS5 and Xbox. But a lot of it, I'm going to go ahead and run off a couple of it, is a bunch of remakes, such as Alone in the Dark, Destroy All Humans 2, Gothic, Jagged Alliance 3, Tempest Rising, and Outcast 2. Though, that is a lot of fucking remakes, dude.
Okay.
Like, they're all from, like, the early 90s and stuff, and they're, like, being brought back.
So it's a full-on remake, or?
Yeah, like well, yeah, they're not remasters. They're like remakes. Like apparently, Alone in the Dark is improving the control scheme because it used to have tank controls before. So stuff like that is like a good example of what they're doing. Same thing with No More Human, Destroy All Humans 2. That's going to be on the Xbox and stuff too. I do think though, Destroy All Humans will eventually get ported to the Switch. I just think that there's going to be enough demand and enough possible stuff to have it for that they're going to.
Oh my god, he's dodging all my moves.
Anyway, but the one thing that did, like, so they have a bunch of these remakes, right? They didn't even announce any De Blob 3. This is fucking horseshit. I am upset. But they announced a bunch of stuff. The thing that I thought was really hilarious though is apparently the old team at Ukes, the people who used to make the WWE games before it became 2K games, are now working on the AEW wrestling game. So that same team, that same development studio, is now making on AEW. And they took a couple of pot shots at the WWE games and stuff. And like some wackiness in it and stuff. And they were making fun of the fact that they had to delay it and all that stuff. So it it was fun. It was a little cheeky, tongue-in-cheek type of thing. But like the way they acted with that, I'm like, I kind of actually want to give it a go.
No, okay.
Just because like they're like, yeah, you know what? At least we didn't have to delay our stuff into oblivion because we can't make it work. Like I think that was hilarious. And then of course they announced another SpongeBob, which is on everything. So big deal. But the one thing at the end of it was a tease for a new South Park game.
Ooh, okay.
So while Ubisoft still has the Fractured Butthole and the Stick of Truth, the story follows with what happens after Fractured Butthole with THQ now. So
Okay.
THQ is taking reins on that. So who knows what's going to happen with Ubisoft. I think that was a little silly for Ubisoft to let that go and not kind of try to continue it.
Mm-hmm.
But, I'm not cross-eyed, as it were, over the situation.
Okay.
So, but I feel like that's a good enough stuff. What do you think about as far as the THQ announcements?
Awesome. Make new stuff.
Well, they're remaking a bunch of stuff. I don't think like THQ Nordic is kind of just like a recovery THQ. Basically, they had to do a lot of ports, and I think they're not done with a lot of the ports yet.
Okay.
But this. A lot of them are just the fact that they're doing new stuff is kind of intriguing. So, is there anything you wish to see from THQ?
Don't remember.
Yeah, like I don't know anything about THQ. What are you talking about?
I'm trying to. Man, there's like one thing that probably would be, but THQ. Yeah, I don't remember.
Okay.
You're fine. You're fine.
All right. Red Faction? No. But yeah, so there's that. But I hope for more from THQ, honestly. I hope for like the Blob 3 and stuff. That'd be great.
Okay.
Darksiders is another series that they have. They have a whole huge sale on a lot of it too, on I think all the systems. So if you want to get a couple of the THQ games, kind of refresh your memory, go ahead and try them out. Check it in. The Blob is at $8 a piece. Buy those. Pardon me, but buy those. So
Man, I barely remember
Yeah.
anything about THQ though.
well, the thing is, like, I think honestly, a lot of people once they start realizing how many games THQ actually had, they're like, "Oh yeah, no, I did like that." So.
Yeah, probably.
But I think that would be a good time to kind of wrap it up right now. Anything else you wish to add to that?
That's about it. Other than
Alright.
that, let's hope for more interesting.
Let's hope for more interesting stuff next week, so we can kind of rag on everybody and maybe meme on some stuff. So, all right. So
More Forspoken memes. Yeah.
oh my God, we're probably gonna do some Forspoken memes for Friday Meme War. Be prepared.
Let's do it.
So, I would like to thank you all kind of listening to all the way to the end of here. If you like our content, feel free to share it, and don't forget to subscribe. And we will see you on the other side.